6 months removed from surgery, and after just 3 months back on his bike, Jett Lawrence's 9th AMA championship was won at Unadilla. Jett moved to America in 2018 and raced Loretta Lynn's as an amateur in 19. And he captured 9 championships in the 5 years since. Let that sink in. Greatness, maybe like we've never seen before. And I've been around. Hannah, Bailey, Johnson, McGrath, Carmichael, Reed, and Stewart, Billow and Dunge. This is different, kids. It just is. Mistakes, hitting the gate, being docked a lap, falls and stalls. Not a perfect season, but nonetheless, a dominant campaign. The red plate throughout, seldom a doubt. Perfect score in New York, and a perfect end cap to a season once thought to be a perfect storm. Eli, Chase, Jett, Hunter, all on the same gate at round 1 in Paula. And it was the Hunter brothers that proved to be the best of the best. And now, it's on to the season finale at Budds Creek. Nestled in the forest of southern Maryland, Budds Creek Motocross is a legendary, world-class motocross track. A favorite among riders and fans alike. It offers both great racing lines for the riders and excellent sight lines for the spectators. Originally built on his family's property in 1973, where he grew up in a 1940s era farmhouse, Budds Creek owner Jonathan Beasley started running motocross races at the young age of 17. Over several decades, Beasley turned this area outside of Mechanicsville into one of the country's prime spots for thousands of riders and race fans, regularly hosting national championship races. Now, Beasley's son Ezra handles operations for the facility. The track sits in a valley and offers outstanding views from multiple locations. Its natural terrain and scenic beauty provided a backdrop for legendary races throughout the years. On this channel, we largely stick to American motocross national history. But this time, we've chosen to focus on a bigger picture. The world stage when it came to Maryland, and America's track located just beyond our nation's capital. Somewhat like the tour's last stop at Unadilla, albeit not as storied, the history of Budds Creek is also rife with World Championship events. The track hosted 250 Grand Prix events in 1993, 94, and 99, and of course the 2007 Motocross Des Nations. We'll get to that in a bit. Belgium's Stefan Everts won the 1993 race, the first European to win a GP on American soil. In 94, in his first ever outdoor ride on a 250, American Jeff Emig led the world wire to wire in the first moto.
Prepare for the drop of the gate. Start is always critical in international motocross competition, and the start here is unique. A real uphill charge. And up and over the crest, it looks like the whole shot will belong to Jeff Emig, but we've got trouble in turn one. A big tangle. Jeff Stanton is among those involved. Kevin Krein and Todd DeHoop also in it. A good start for number 64. That's John Dowd. The Yamaha's run 1-2.
Stanton right here. The bike just gets away from him. I think his concentration was thrown off by that mess, and here he's got to remount way at the back of the pack. He's got a lot of work to do now.
Everyone will have passed the former American champion by the time he gets going again. So out front, Emig, clear of all that trouble, has clear sailing indeed, and has only his teammate to contend with for the moment. The international stars get tangled up at the top of the hill, and a couple of Americans run 1-2 in the early going here at the United States Grand Prix, off to a bit of a rough start, unless, of course, you are Jeff Emig, riding outdoors for the first time in his pro career on a 250 and doing pretty well at that. He talked about that before the race.
For me to go fast on a 250, I have to be, comfortable, and it's downhill that you'll see, like an out of control type ride from me. But, but I do think that I can run the speed.
Well, something certainly helped him out so far. He's your leader. This is the battle for third, and look who's in it. Number 2 is Stefan Everts, and that is remarkable. Just a couple of weeks after breaking his collarbone, he's got a 6-inch titanium pin holding his upper body together, but number 2 with an opportunity here to collect championship points and close in on world championship leader Greg Albertine. Budds Creek, Maryland, the U.S. GP Motocross. John Dowd circulating in second spot behind his teammate Jeff Emig, who has built a big lead. Marnique Vervoets continues to run in third spot, pursued by Stefan Everts, the man who is trying here to pull out a world championship, racing with a broken collarbone just 2 weeks after that fracture, and I find that pretty remarkable. Now look at Everts. He's on the move, collarbone or no. He's out jumping Vervoets and taking over third spot. Pure heroic. In a crowd urging John Dowd on. It is very much a pro-American gathering here as we watch Vervoets and Everts, and they have closed right up to the rear wheel of John Dowd, the American who runs second. Emig is all alone out front. It is his race to win. The story in this one is Everts and his opportunity to close in. He lacked 30 points, a 30-point gap coming into this race in terms of catching the world champ Albertine and the championship point leader. However, he will take a big bite out of that lead right now. And here is an attempted pass on Dowd that came just a bit short. The GP stars come to America to try to do something with the Americans, who currently run 1-2. It's Emig and Dowd on the Yamahas up front. We're back at Budds Creek, Maryland. Jonathan Beasley bringing the U.S. Grand Prix to his beautiful Maryland circuit here. The crowd have packed in to watch a pretty good battle here for 5th and 6th. Number 48, Steve Lamson, the American, under a lot of pressure from Yves Demaria, the Frenchman, who is on a roll. He's got 2 GP wins in a row coming in here, but he's had his hands full all day with Lamson. This battle's been going on lap after lap.
Well, it's getting later in the race, and usually the Americans have the advantage in this kind of heat over the Europeans, and also Lamson did quite well here during the national championship ran on the 125.
We see Jeff Emig en route to an easy moto victory, and I wondered when that gate dropped if he thought it was going to be such a piece of cake.
It's you don't know what to expect. This is his first GP. It's his first time on a 250 outdoors. I mean, there's a lot of firsts here for him today, and for it to have gone this smooth, he's got to be feeling good there on one of those drop waves. He waved to the crowd, and he's just savoring this. There he waves again. He's got to feel great. I remember my first Grand Prix at Unadilla. I won the first moto. I didn't win the event, but it's still a very memorable event just from that one moto win.
Now we saw the shot of Steve Butler, Jeff's mechanic, a moment ago. He likes this event because he's not the only guy who talks funny this weekend. Steve is Australian and feels right at home here in this international gathering of motocross talent who are all playing second fiddle to his man Jeff Emig today. It's a terrific run for Yamaha as Emig puts the 250 out front. His focus in the National Championship Series is the 125 class. You see those races on the Deuce, ESPN2. Emig has won a couple of races, his 5th in the championship standings. He's a former 125 national champion. But right now, all he's hearing is the cheer of the American fans as they bring him toward the checkered flag. And I suppose he hasn't yet started to think about the regrouping that he's got to do in this heat in anticipation of the second.
He's still savoring this victory right here. I mean, you can hear the fans. It's got to feel great. I remember when I won my first GP Moto. It feels fantastic. And, you know, he didn't have to ride very hard. He had a good lead. And he's probably conserved a lot of energy going to this next Moto.
Just the way you like it.
Yeah, you know, I got that whole shot there and made life a whole lot easier. You know, I don't wear no chest protector. I don't want to catch no roost. Only way to do that, you know, was to be right out front.
And you were able to endure it, too. It was a tough day to endure.
Well, I was riding real comfortable. When you're riding like that, you know, you don't really use up a whole lot of energy. And, you know, once again, man, the fans are just really great. You know, I see American flags and stuff everywhere. You know, and that just helps you, just helps you give that little extra.
Prepare for the start of the second Moto. A little different countdown board procedure than in the American races, and this is a lot different than in the American races. The American races, you have to wait till the gate drops, but in this case, a couple of guys have jumped it, and actually Talon Boland turned that into the lead. I wonder if they're going to let this live.
Here's another look at the start, what happened. You see those couple of guys jump out over the gate, and Boland gets out and turns it into the hole shot. You know, those gates are impossible, Dave, to jump over. That gate's got to be running a little bit low. Otherwise, they'd be hung up in there.
The red flag indeed will come out. Patriotism very much in fashion at the USGP. With more on this start controversy, here's Art Ekman.
6 inches of rain in 3 days have made the gates lower. The riders almost create a ramp to take off. 3 riders jumped the gate anticipating this start. It took a half lap for the politics to clear. Arguments followed in 4 languages. No penalties as we're ready to go for the second Moto.
Gate is down and up the hill they go, and Art Ekman gets thoroughly roosted. Here is Albertine out front, and in hot pursuit comes number 8, Talon Boland, who had the whole shot the first time out. Andrea Bartolini is number 79 of Italy. Look quick, because he probably won't stay up there very long. Jeff Stanton has a good start. He is 4th and holds on to 2nd spot. But Jeff Stanton, involved in that first turn tangle in the first Moto, is up to 3rd. Greg Albertine, the world champ, finds his form in Moto number 2 and has a terrific start. He struggled in that first Moto. I love the bare forearms. You know, it reminds me of the tough guys of old. Check this out. Talon Boland, the American, now living and racing in Europe, will take the lead. And behind him, number 2, Stefan Everts, has got to be saying, way cool. I love this. The man he has to beat for the championship has dropped 5 positions behind him on the racetrack. Boland under a lot of pressure from Jeff Stanton. Stanton took a shot at him earlier when they were racing for 2nd and 3rd. I'll bet he'll take another shot for the lead. Jeff Stanton won the 250 USGP 3 years running at Unadilla Valley Sports Center in upstate New York. The race moved here last year, and Stefan Everts, number 2, was the champion of that event. So the men who have won the last 4 GPs in America currently race for 2nd and 3rd behind Talon Boland, who has opened up a bit of gap on those 2, and I don't think Jeff Stanton's paying attention to your advice. I think he's racing the guy behind him instead of the guy in front of him.
Well, that's the problem. He's having to be more defensive now, and these guys are racing each other, and it's allowing Boland to get away.
Jeff Stanton, bobble right there, missed the berm, jumped over to the 2nd berm, and by on the inside goes Everts. Stefan Everts continues his incredible performance.
Well, as Jeff comes into the corner right here, everything's looking good. He goes for the inside rut. And looks like he just gets on the gas a little early. It stands the bike up, and he's not leaned into the corner still, and he overshoots the rut, and Stefan rides right by.
An easy pass for Everts, an opportunity to collect another handful of World Championship points. Meanwhile, up front, Talon Boland continues to lead the race. Boland is your leader. We should mention that Jeff Emig, the first Moto winner, got a terrible start. He was 22nd at the end of the first lap, and we'll be lucky to see him moving into any kind of contention. Now you see some crowd along the sideline, some crowd reaction to this World Championship battle. A lot of people cheering Everts on. He gained some fans in that first Moto. Glimpse of your leader, number 8, Boland. He is under attack now. Everts turned up the wick trying to get away from Albertine, and as a result has reeled in the leader Boland. What a storybook day this could be for Everts. If he could win this second moto and Albertine go to the sidelines, you've got a brand new battle for the World Championship. And he came in here trailing by 30. In his wildest dreams, I don't think Everett thought this could happen today.
No, he just said he was going to give all of the effort he possibly could. And, you know, he was probably just hoping to be up front and just collect some points. And here he is looking at a chance to possibly win the second moto.
Here at Budds Creek, Maryland, final lap and a single question. Can Talon Boland withstand the late race assault of Yves DeMaria? I'm not going to put you on the spot, but Boland looks a little sloppy to me here, David.
Yeah, he does. He came out of that corner and he went up that straightaway just all out of control. And right here, he's drifting wide. He's off the line in the marbles there. You see that? He's definitely, from the looks of that, feeling the pressure of DeMaria.
Is that fatigue, or might the suspension on his motorcycle have gotten a little tired on him here late in the race?
No, he just cased on that little uphill double to there, went wide. I mean, he's off his line, and he's obviously very nervous. I mean, he doesn't realize he doesn't have far to go, but he's feeling a lot of pressure from DeMaria. DeMaria has nothing to lose.
Talon, I did my best to get you an excuse. Bailey says no way. DeMaria is just faster. And obviously, with a couple of bike lengths to make up for the opportunity to pick up World Championship points, Boland is not in the hunt for the title. But DeMaria drives by on the inside, says, see you later. He needs all the points he can collect, and that pass right there was worth 3 for the fast Frenchman, who, by my arithmetic, is in position to score his 3rd straight overall victory. He's counting points at this point, but he definitely is on a roll and certainly didn't hesitate to go after Boland.
No, it was a nice move, very aggressive. You can see he's pretty pumped about it, and Boland really dropped off the pace after that.
The Moto results show DeMaria the winner with Boland second. Everts, powerful 3rd place run here today. DeWitt finishing 4th. There's the rest of your top 10. The pass that won the Moto. Up the inside, Boland with no response. DeMaria wins it.
It was one of the best races we've seen in a long time as far as GP in the U.S.
Yeah, it was a good battle all the way to the end. I'm a little bit disappointed he got me. But it was a clean pass. He didn't hit me. I knew that line, but I was just a second too late, and he was already in there. So it's good for him, but I'm happy. Both the Pepsi team did really good today. It's hard, you know, I'm a little bit disappointed. I'd really like to win my first 250 GP here today.
DeMaria with the most to celebrate, 3 overall wins in a row.
As a precursor to the better-remembered 2007 destinations to come, in 1999, the World Championship Series returned to Budds Creek for the United States Grand Prix. I was there on crutches, recovering from a nasty tib-fib break, to write the story for the then fledgling Racer X magazine, and found the atmosphere to be a bit surreal, with far less spectators than any Budds Creek National I'd been to, and a completely different look and feel with the signage, the track being run backwards, and 40-minute motos. Nonetheless, it was a great day in American motocross history. With Kevin Windham, who had won the National at Budds Creek earlier in the year, besting all the World Championship riders, including the rather outspoken at the time, then 3-time champion Stefan Everts.
Everts is out in front. You know, Everts did a lot of trash talking before this race, saying that the Americans were cowards, were not participating after their long series throughout the year.
Well, there's Ryan Hughes just moving into 4th. Ryan's a fighter. He'll get in there and keep him quiet. But it seems like whenever Everts comes to race here, there's always surrounded by a lot of hype. That's because the guy is so talented, but he doesn't do Supercross. These guys don't have an opportunity to shut him up, but I think today they'll have their chance. Windham moving up just behind this pack as well, number 114. The Americans having to shuffle their number back a little bit to give way to the Europeans.
Everts out in front. He was the first Euro rider in 10 years to win a U.S. GP here back in 1993. First moto underway from Budds Creek of the U.S. GP, and it's Stefan Everts, who had an injury-riddled season that took him out of the points race, despite the fact that he is a 3-time 250 world champion. Right there's Ryan Hughes, number 70. Ryan Hughes moving into 2nd place, pushing Pit Meyer back to 3rd, Kevin Windham 4th, Mikel Pichon in 5th now.
It looks to me, Art, like the Americans have changed the pace of this race. Windham putting the pressure on, Ryan Hughes putting the pressure on Pitt, who closed the gap on the leader, and now you can see the fans, they're into it, and you can bet that Everts can feel these guys coming.
2 weeks ago, Kevin Windham wasn't planning on attending the USGP. That was until Stefan Everts called the Missing Americans cowards in an attempt to draw them out.
You know, I think it's a pretty bold statement considering that Americans have just gotten off 28 race series. You know, 2 series is combined. So, you know, 28 races is quite a bit. I think they have a right to want to stay home this weekend. You know, this isn't really a high priority on the American list. So, you know, I think it's pretty bold. I think that he didn't race that many races this year, if I'm not mistaken, only like 12 or something. So I'm sure he could find an off weekend to come race a Supercross or 2 if he'd like.
I was expecting some comments on it, but I think it hurt a lot of people, and the plan was not hurting people. You know, I just was so disappointed that the riders just said, yeah, we're not racing it.
A very honest Stefan Everts. He wants to race against the best.
Well, he wants so badly to be the best, and it's just unacceptable for him to come over here and win the race, let's say, and then not having beat Greg Albertine and Windham and the guys that have been hot over here this year. Windham really starting to work hard on Byron now. Inside, outside, not following, really forcing Byron to think. Looks to me like if Kevin can get around, he may be able to close the gap up to Ryan, and those two could close the gap up to the leader.
40-minute motos every day, so it's not a problem for him, and he's motivated. He wants to win because of some things that were said and to prove a point, so I think he's got 40 minutes plus 2 laps in him.
Jeff Stent, when he was racing, David, always took the USGPs really seriously. I mean, no foreigner was coming over here and beat us on our own soil.
Well, you could see that happen later on when he became teammates with Jean-micheal Bale. Nothing gave him more pleasure than to beat Bale. And I think he's got Kevin a little bit extra motivated for this race as well. I don't know if Kevin was as motivated by what Everett said as he was listening to Jeff talk about what Everett said.
Stefan Everts has led every lap of our heat number 1.
If you want to watch a guy that's smooth, just feast your eyes on Everett.
Welcome back to the USGP in Budds Creek, Maryland. Art Eckman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs bringing you the action as Stefan Everts is our leader. Ryan Hughes currently in 2nd place.
You see the last lap forward as they go over the jump. Final lap. Kevin really putting the pressure on Hughes now. These guys have really picked up the pace. Closed within about 3 or 4 seconds of the leader now. So anything can happen here on this last lap. These guys charging so hard.
This is an outstanding way for Ryan Hughes to end his GP season, especially being on the home soil for the last race. Stefan Everts is our leader. Stefan Everts here in Heat 1 has led every single lap. So Stefan Everts shows us he can back up the trash talk. Stefan, after being injured for the first 12 rounds, did not participate. Tries to put the capper on the season right now as he goes over the finish line jump in the checkers for Stefan Everts. Stefan in 1st. It'll be Ryan Hughes in 2nd. And Kevin Windham, a hard-earned 3rd place.
I know it also means a lot to you to beat the top American riders. You just did that with Windham and Albertine and Tortelli, but maybe more importantly, beating Everts after that comment.
Yeah, you know, I was a little bit mad about that, and I'm trying to, but, you know, he's a great rider. I'm not taking anything away from him, but, you know, it just makes me mad when someone insults my country.
We've seen some very close racing in the past.
I have a feeling we're going to see some more in Heat 2 here. There's number 1. Sebastian Tortelli gets a pretty good jump. It looks like Kevin beat him out.
David Villeman on the inside, though, will get the whole shot. Windham is right there. Hughes in 3rd in front of Everts and Albertine. A good, clean start.
Really starting to tighten the screws now. This is where you'll start to see Villeman.
Windham to the inside. What a burst of speed.
I was about to say you'll start to see Villeman protecting his line and maybe looking around a little bit more, but it didn't even take that long. Windham just shot in there on the inside and took advantage of the way he pushed Villeman into the corner too hot. Villeman couldn't hold it. Windham just snuck into the berm.
Well, this is encouraging for the American fans looking for an American winner here on the GP circuit. And right now, with Everts in 4th, 2 riders between Windham and Everts, stands a pretty good chance to win in that overall. Kevin Windham is eating this track alive.
I think he just likes this place, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the racetrack because it's going the opposite direction. I think it has to do more with just the surroundings, feeling comfortable, knowing he's won here before.
We're back at Budds Creek, Maryland. After Stefan Everts dominated the first moto, Stefan Everts now is in 4th place, and Kevin Windham, who took a 3rd in the first heat, is now pretty much dominating the second heat as he tries to pull away from David Billiman. Our leader is still Kevin Windham, who's done a magnificent job here in the second heat.
It looked to me like Billiman was going to be a little bit tougher for Kevin out front. And finally, Kevin just decided it's time to make the pass. Had no problem.
And riding red right now is Kevin Windham.
He is looking sharp. Starting to salute the crowd. The American flags are waving. He's going to win himself a GP. That's going to feel good. To beat Everts, to win this thing, ride against the same guys, it's got to feel good. Give him a lot of insight into what to expect.
1999, he got his first national win, and here he gets his first GP win. That move into 3rd place in Moto 1 was a must, but he came through beautifully here in Heat 2 as well. The first American to win a U.S. GP since Stanton did it back in '92.
Kevin, how's it feel? You just won the first Grand Prix you ever had in your life.
It feels great. You know, I didn't know how I was going to do after the first moto. I was a little disappointed with a poor start, but I got the start, needed the second moto, and everything worked out for the best. This was probably the funnest race I've done all year.
Then came, of course, the stunning rides and victory of Ryan Villopoto, besting the world at the 2007 Des Nations, leading the team of Ricky Carmichael and Timmy Ferry, and the entire field of world-class racers to the finish line on a Pro Circuit KX250F, some 20 years after Hannah, Ricky Johnson, and Jeff Ward had prevailed at Unadilla.
In the open class, as Bubba will have to sit this one out.
Here, this event is so much fun and so many things happening and so many different people that I never get to see. I'm excited.
So here we go. US, it's Carmichael there. South Africa alongside it. Italy, of course, alongside the man from the US, Carmichael. Of course, it's Villopoto on the MX2 bike. So we've got MX1 and MX2 out in this one. Great Britain, Billy McKenzie with young Tommy Searle. Spain there with Barragan and Campano. Japan here with Narita and Masuda. Canada, well, there's the young lady, and two very attractive young ladies, I have to say, very tan and brown. But this is race one of this 2007 Red Bull Motocross of Nations here at Budds Creek, getting underway, and we've lost one or two, I think, on that start straight. I think it's Villopoto the lead. Yes, it is. Well, how about that? Where's Carmichael? Villopoto out front. Where is Ricky Carmichael? Was he one of those casualties on that start straight? Villopoto goes through. We're looking at, well, this track is in absolutely superb condition, although we've got a little bit of dust. It's very hot here at the moment, 87 degrees. They've really worked hard on this job, but they're going through. It was Ryan Villopoto, number 2 out front. Well, it's the MX2 rider from America. Newly crowned Lights champion this year, of course defending his title from last year. He's got the American crowd right on their feet. But where is Carmichael? He's having to work hard for this. He's way down the field at the moment, 16th position. Well, I'll tell you something, he won't stay there for long. It is not called the GOAT for nothing, you know, the greatest of all time. Here comes the GOAT. He's on the case. It looks like Tony Caroli is about to go past. Well, we're all expecting this little battle. And Caroli on the MX2 bike has no odds to the power of that 450 Makita Suzuki. But he does. Look at Caroli. Well, a lot of people have wanted to see this battle go on. And wow, just look at Carmichael out jumping Caroli down the hill. 15 times a champion. This boy's done it all. They didn't nickname him the GOAT for no reason. The greatest of all time. He really is. And Villopoto, well, this is a young man on the 19 years of age on the brink of becoming another great all-time American rider. Checkered flag for Villopoto. Reed should chase him home in second place. What a great finish. There it is. Carmichael finally finished third. And that's something you never see. Carmichael being beaten by an MX2 bike in his own country. Race 2 then. This is MX2 and Open, of course. Villapoto, the winner of Race 1, will be out there, partnered by Tim Ferry this time, the replacement for Stewart with that injured knee. So there it is. So there's those gorgeous young Red Bull ladies once again with a gorgeous suntan. Didn't get their names, unfortunately, neither the phone numbers. But here we go, gate drops. Are they all safely going to make that first corner? It's a very tight one. In they go. Who's got the hole? It looks like Villapoto's got another storming start. One or two bouncing around there, but all seem to have got safely through. Well, I spoke too soon. I did say safely through. Maybe not. They're all falling over each other at the back. Well, that's normal. It looks to me like Villapoto's got an absolutely another steaming start, and he's out there with the big 450s. And there is the number 3 bike then. Tim Ferry is in trouble. Race leader Ryan Villapoto, the winner of the first race, MX1 and MX2, well, he can't do any more than what he's doing, really. And Tim Ferry really now's got to pick his game up for the US if they want to take this Chamberlain Nations Trophy back home. Well, don't back home, they're already here, aren't they? We're here in America. This is Budds Creek. That looks to me like Tim Ferry, and he's already beginning to steam his way through the field up to 13th position. And the crowd here, there must be best part of 80,000 Americans. Well, not just the Americans, we've got people from around the planet. There's Villapoto on that Kawasaki. Just look at this boy go. Well, I can only say when mother gave birth to this young boy, she really didn't know that she'd made a star. Look at that, and he's enjoying this. This is his last race of the campaign this weekend, and he can't do any more. He won the first one, and he certainly won the second one. Ryan Villapoto, just 19 years of age. He is a man of the future. The next Carmichael in the making, we have to say. So it is the red-plated number 2, Kawasaki, Ryan Villapoto. 2 perfect scores, 1 and 1. Didyka held on to that second, Thomas held to third, Ferry got himself through to 4th, still looking good for the state. Race 3 then, MX1 and Open coming down to the line. This time it's Carmichael and Tim Ferry once again. Remarkable, the final race here at Budds Creek of the 2007 MX of Nations underway. The gates drop, and here these guys go. Who's going to make the first corner? Is it Carmichael? Yes, it is. Well, look at those journalists. They soon moved. Somebody on the floor, can't see who it is. Does it really matter? Carmichael's out front. He's going to go for this. That's not one of the Americans, I can tell you. But it is Ricky Carmichael. Well, this is his very last motocross professional ride of his career. He goes out here, and what a way to finish it, with a win. Not just of the Nations Cup, but also by winning the final race of the day. Where is Tim Ferry? Not a bad start for Ferry. He's having to work his way back up the field. And this is the fight now for second place. Steve Ramon and Tim Ferry. Now, what can Ferry do about the new world FIM champion? Is Steve Ramon going to dig deep and keep the American behind him? That looks like Carmichael. Indeed it is. On the Makita Suzuki. Carmichael and his final ride. This boy's got to do a lap of honour at the end. The crowds are going to go wild. They're going to leave here in tears. The end of a legend. He's going to go, I believe, car racing, NASCAR or something. There is Ferry, got to second position. But look at Carmichael. He knows he's got this one. He's even got time to almost shake hands with all the mechanics in the pit boxes. That's what you call confidence of a man that is indeed the greatest of all time. Look at him. He's going to have to do a lap of honour. I'm sure the American team are going to do it. It'll play havoc with our TV coverage, but what the hell. This boy is a legend, and we've got to say goodbye to him in style. There he is. Carmichael wins the final race here at Budds Creek 2007, the Motocross of Nations. It has been a classic.
As we move forward into the final race of outdoor motocross, and with the title already clinched, there's no reason to believe that another foreign rider will not win at Budds Creek again. But how foreign are they? Jett and Hunter Lawrence are the embodiment of the American dream, Australian or not. Venturing into an unknown realm, risking everything with the confidence that once made America great. Jett's 37 outdoor wins in both classes has him already equal with Bob Hannah for 5th all-time. His 23 450 class wins is also 5th on the all-time list. In In just 2.5 years, Jett is already 9th all-time in combined Premier Class wins. And in the great outdoors, Lawrence is well on his way to being in a class of his own. He has an 88% win ratio. In 52 motos on the 450, Jett has won 43 times, the best in history. The second best, predictably enough, is Ricky Carmichael, who won 11 less races, 32 out of his first 52 outings. At 22 years of age, just last week, Jett Lawrence already has 23 wins and is only 9 races behind Eli Tomac on the all-time list. Let that sink in.